Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the latest edition of Wow, Lynch, Wow, dedicated to filmmaker David Lynch and inspired by the triumphant return of Twin Peaks. A friendly warning to everyone who isn't caught up on all 8 episodes of the new season of Twin Peaks. There will be some spoilers, and they will begin shortly. So viewers and listeners, be warned. So we're nearly halfway through now. We still have 10 parts to go. So let's make some predictions based on what we know, starting with Dougie Coop. For starters, I'm thinking that Dougie Coop probably felt some type of disturbance in the Force at the moment Bad Coop was shot dead by Ray. I'm guessing this probably helped Dougie Coop remember something important, much in the same way that Rita first remembered something in Mulholland Drive. And I think the thing Coop is going to remember is the town of Twin Peaks or something about the town. But I think this is just going to be a flash moment of recollection for Dougie Coop, given Bad Coop's apparently quick resurrection. Meanwhile, moving on to Bad Coop, I'm of the opinion Bob is no longer with him. But I always imagined he was the one steering the ship in their partnership at this point, so I think Bad Coop will continue seeking out Ray for the coordinates he wants. I believe he will succeed in getting the coordinates this time, and that he won't be outwitted by Ray again. Meanwhile, I also still maintain that we're headed towards a big-time showdown at the casino. Dougie Coop will wind up back at that casino, and when he does, I'm expecting all sorts of undesirable characters wishing him harm that they're all going to close in on him. Maybe round 2 with Ike the Spike, surely an encounter with some casino boss ruffians, and perhaps any number of other scumbags, lowlives, or degenerates. They're all going to close in on Coop and his good pal, Bill Shaker. And Dougie Coop's going to have another amazing display of good fortune and good instincts to help him escape this impossible situation unscathed. Meanwhile, I believe Bad Coop, having gotten the coordinates he wants, I think this all ties into the mysterious circumstances surrounding Major Briggs, as well as whatever agenda Philip Jeffries is pursuing. Philip Jeffries is a big piece in all of this. Maybe Lynch has some secret footage of David Bowie, or maybe someone like Tim Roth might be taking the helm of the role. Or maybe we won't ever actually see the character at all. But even if we don't, his character is key to what's going on with Bad Coop. So I imagine he has an interest in those coordinates as well, and I think he already has a leg up on Bad Coop. Meanwhile, when Janie-E gets news of what happened at the casino, she's gonna want to hit the road. Take the $400,000, pack only what they need, and she's going to shove Dougie Coop into the car along with Sonny Jim. Somehow or another, they're going to wind up heading in the general direction of Twin Peaks, perhaps even directly to Twin Peaks, if Cooper remembers anything significant about the town during his brief moment of recollection. Hawk will eventually track Cooper down as he makes his way towards or into Twin Peaks, and Janey-E is going to be none too happy about this. She will complain that Hawk is mistaken, and that her husband's name is Dougie, not some other guy named Dale Cooper. She's going to grow furious with Hawk, and I imagine Hawk will be baffled by her fiery demeanor. Meanwhile, Bad Coop will arrive in Twin Peaks. He's got the coordinates, and he's going to go to the Twin Peaks Sheriff Department for something he needs. Hawk will see Bad Coop, and he'll think he must have been mistaken about Dougie Coop, given Janie-E's fiery denial of such. So Hawk will logically conclude that he must have been wrong. But I also believe Hawk has amazing instincts, and I think he's going to have some initial suspicions, even though he will first assume he must have been wrong. Andy and Lucy will be very perturbed that Cooper never sent poor Wally a birthday card. But Bad Coop's going to do a believable job playing the real Cooper, because he no longer has a direct affiliation with Bob, and also because he hasn't seen them in 25 years. Meanwhile, I ultimately think Good Coop is going to finally regain form when he sees Laura Palmer. Maybe it will be something like when Bobby was overcome with emotion when first seeing the old photo of our beloved Laura. But when Cooper does remember everything, Janie-E will have a difficult time understanding this, and this will cause great confusion for Hawk over which Coop is the real Coop creeping around in Twin Peaks. But Hawk will then also know that his instincts were initially correct, and he will be able to identify the true Cooper. Meanwhile, I think Bad Coop's endgame ultimately ties in with the coordinates and the card he showed Daria that looked an awful lot like the mother of all evil. The mother coughed up Bob and a bunch of evil-looking eggs during the aftermath of the Trinity test. Then she wound up in that glass box and she killed poor Sam and Tracy. So she's somewhere on the brink of taking physical form in our reality, but she doesn't quite seem all the way there yet. Did she perhaps summon Bob from Bad Coop for a greater purpose? If my take is correct, Bob's going to need a new host, and I ultimately believe that that will be someone from Twin Peaks. Someone who probably wanders a little too close to the sycamore trees. Who will it be? Will it be a high Jerry Horn? Perhaps it will be Richard Horn. Or maybe it will be Red. I imagine Bob would have an awful lot of fun with Red. Certainly a lot more fun with Red than he had with Bad Coop. Red is running drugs, intimidating scumbags, and doing some dope magic tricks in the eye of danger. Bob would absolutely love being with Red. Or maybe Bob will wind up targeting Steven. Or perhaps Becky. Becky definitely plays a very important role in all of this. Will she be a host to Bob? Maybe, but I think it's far more likely that she would play a host to Laura. After all, if Laura was created in direct response to the creation of Bob, then there's reason to believe that she might be able to do something like this. Maybe when we saw Becky getting all coked up, this was Laura getting high for the first time in 25 years, much like when Cooper had his first hot sip of coffee in 25 years. I know a lot of people think that that's some type of Chinese designer drug she's doing, but I'd like to believe it's cocaine, because cocaine and Twin Peaks go together like cherry pie and hot black coffee. But what I really think will wind up happening with Becky is something truly horrible. I mean, sooner or later, I really believe Becky is going to fall victim to some extremely ill fate where she's the victim of some heinous crime. And if this happens, I'm of the opinion that Bobby is Becky's father. And I think this would turn Bobby into a very huge player. Not only because I believe Becky to be his daughter, but also because of the fact that his father, Major Briggs, is directly in the mix of everything going on with Bad Coop, the White Lodge, and the Coordinates. And Bobby might even be drawn further into the story if, as many believe, his mother is anyway possibly affiliated with Bill Hastings. And I think Bobby will also wind up being a key player in the drug plot line. And while all of these things are going around Bobby, lest we forget his powerful moment of emotional surrender when he saw the picture of Laura Palmer. At the end of the day, Laura is the key to everything. I'm not sure how, but I'm sure of it. Whatever she whispered to Cooper in the lodge is the key to everything this season, much like what she whispered to him 25 years ago was the key to the original mystery. The big difference this time is that the main mystery is much less clearly defined. Could Laura play host to someone like a counterpart to Bob? Will she appear in some other way? One way or another, Laura Palmer is the key. Over the next several episodes, I expect many parties will be headed towards Twin Peaks. Cole and his team of Albert, Tammy, and Diane, Dougie, Coop, Janie-E, and Sonny Jim, Bad Coop, and probably several others as well. And I think this will all ultimately come together in glorious, triumphant fashion. As a final prediction, I definitely think sooner or later, someone is going to get smacked across the face with one of Jacoby's gold shovels. And I have a sneaking suspicion that Deputy Chad will be the one on the receiving end of the gold shit-digging shovel. Very fired up for Part 9. Can't wait for July 9th. That's all I got. Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great night, everyone.